talking about us. Many things we don't say, many things we don't love us. It in the be like highway.
Oh, there we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Jabari Vlog Media. Team Resistance. Alex Suarez should be on very soon. We have a good amount of things to talk about. Again, like we always do. Make sure you've seen it. Okay. Well, all right. So I wanted to first take time, make sure. So we're going to revisit the conversation with Angie Nixon. Because Alex Suarez actually knows her. So it's definitely going to be a talk. I know people saw what's going on with these drones in Gaza that we post a video as well of these kids trying to get water, and they no longer they literally had to dodge drones. There was a drone strike shooting, and that's just crazy, man. Like, there's just so much going on that's just being swept under the rug. And the contradictions. This is supposed to be a coverage, but I just feel like I need to talk the contradictions. They talk about being moral. Just absolutely insane. Let me pull it up here. If you didn't see the video, I got you. You can see the video in like a few seconds. And what was very weird to me was seeing the fact that people were like making these jokes saying it's Hollywood, it's Gaza Wood, all these stupid things. And I'm like, dude, like, you literally are witnessing children trying to move water and they getting shot at while trying to move water with a drone. And that's apparently Hollywood to you. Here it is right here. Let's play it. Yes, those are gunshots. It's a quad drone. It says the name on it. But yeah, those are gunshots. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. StreamYard's weird. Yeah. Apparently, this is what they want to call Hollywood. What year have we landed? Yeah. Yeah. They like it's absolutely amazing. It's really honestly, it's absolutely amazing what we have to deal with this rhetoric that oh, another comment. Let's go. 2026. I arrived too late. Dang it. Okay, Jamar. I'll catch you in the past. Hopefully I haven't broken space each time again. But, but I really don't understand. Like, this is the most documented genocide that has ever happened. Like, what you're literally seeing is these countries that claim they're moralistic and all this stuff. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, we're the most moral, and especially the IDF. Oh, the most moral army. Well, everybody's moral, 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 moral. Like Jesus.
Hey, how you been, comrade?
Hey, what's going on, Alex? Um, you want to talk about Angie Nixon? Let's
Angie, yeah.
get into it. Yeah. Um, First of all, have you noticed with her when she has gotten a lot more flack, a lot more issues where I don't want to go into these situation by situation for out here, but she's like been arguing with these corporate Democrats is like they want her to change her platform. Basically, she got to change her platform. Now they're
Interestingly
gonna
enough,
actually take her
I
seriously.
actually spoke with a gentleman. He ran as an independent progressive for the statewide Senate, the same position that she's
Yeah.
running for. At that time, he ran against Murphy in the infamous Marco Rubio. And
Mm,
I was part of his campaign in Tampa back then, 10 years ago. Uh,
mm,
and his name is Stephen Machat. You might have seen a brief mention of him in the book that I wrote of my father that I know you're still reading. Um, but Chad, I had a conversation with him recently about Angie Nixon, and he said positive things about her. And I said, well, you should see about endorsing her. Yeah, because he lost, but he ran statewide as an independent progressive. Um, I think independent progressives, when they know her platform, will like her. She's turning into a national figure, so she's turning into a pariah in some circles. The elites
yeah.
are definitely freaking out about her. Um, she is a working class woman that I've known for 6 years from Northside Jacksonville, which is like the roughest neighborhood in town. And so
Mm,
she is badass. She is brave. She'll speak up for Palestine, Cuba. She is one of us. And I would prefer third party. As you know, I have issue with the Green Party and being independent for a long time. Um,
mm,
but certainly, insurgent candidates like her are a thorn to the side in the establishment. And I think we need to focus more on movement building than electoralism because they can erase her district just like they erased Washerman Schultz district down here in Florida. But if they don't erase her district and she does defeat in the generals the Republican, it would be a step in the right direction.
mm. Yeah. And so wait, when you said that you know her for about 6 years, so like you seen like her groundwork, and did you volunteer for her campaign as well
I
for her when
supported her, but
she
I never volunteered for her. But I did support her and took a picture with her. And back when she ran for a different position in 2020 during COVID, I know, for example, she got COVID during her campaign and was pregnant during her campaign and continued to canvass, when she was able to. So, very tough lady. And that child was still able to be born healthy. And that child's probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6 now. But, she's very tough, comes from a tough neighborhood, very compassionate woman as well. And she's not, I know her well enough to know that she will not shy from controversy and not shy from championing for the rights of oppressed people.
yeah. um you know I don't think people should be surprised as well too that for two things: the DSA, they didn't endorse her, and plus the DSA is getting a lot of pressure, especially with the Mandani, which is the star right now.
Well,
So
Donnie supports
they
Jeffrey Hakeem Jeffries. which of course Angie Nixon does not support. Yeah, and is it just Mamdani's been doing some things lately that have been disappointing me.
Yeah, and he definitely endorsed, and she did not, which is great. It seems like they're trying to, like, give in to making sure there's a balance with the corporate Democrats, which is not a balance, but it's a balance to them. Instead of like actually, socialists, like
what was the name of the other socialist guy? Saeed from Michigan. That was another victory.
Yeah, but he said he's not socialist. He said that he just learned from being in the medical field.
I'm not too familiar with him, but I can tell you that Angie openly calls herself a democratic socialist, even if she doesn't have the support from the DSA. It kind of reminds me of Che, because Che did not have support of the Bolivian Communist Party, even though he was a real Bolivian fighting, not Bolivian. Well, he was a real communist, an Argentine fighting on behalf of the Bolivians. And actually, if you look at the history of the Communist Party in Cuba, they didn't support Fidel in the beginning either. And there was former communist members that joined the cabinet of dictator Batista. So these are like, bourgeois, Stalinist, communist types. And they didn't support the people that they should have been supporting at that time in history. And that you see the same thing with DSA. Even though you have a real democratic socialist like Angie Nixon, who supports Cuba, who's against the genocide in Palestine, they're not endorsing her like they should. And then you have people like Mamdani, who got the support of DSA. They're busy out now campaigning for the establishment candidate Hakeem Jeffries, and it just shows the two-party duopoly, right? How it just sabotages real democracy. Just like U.S. foreign policy expansionism, prevents democracy in the third world, the progress of third world countries, third world nations.
Yes, this is a clear lesson for the left, with understanding. Because when you read left-wing communism, there was democratic socialists that was a part of Russia during the Tsar, and they were called Mensheviks.
You had the Bolsheviks versus the Mensheviks, and you had Chavez himself called himself a Socialista Democrática. So a democratic socialist in Venezuela is not the same thing as like a DSA person in the United States. Although I was with people that were in the section of the DSA that supported Maduro. So the DSA is not a monolith. But the fact that DSA National did not support or endorse Angie is no surprise to me, because she's a real democratic too. They didn't support Kshama Sawant either. Yeah, so I think that Kshama Sawant, who we were supposed to have on, but we were able to do it. We were able to interview her campaign manager. She had to form an alliance with Angie. There should be some type of alliance there.
Well,
I'm trying to reach out to people that I know that know Angie, because I haven't been in touch with her in a while, to see maybe she can come on as well. But the fact that she's turning into a national figure, there's a lot of attention now in Florida, is a good thing, because Florida has been known as a fascist state under DeSantis for so long. But now we have an opportunity for a real socialist, democratic socialist, to come in. So we'll see.
Well, that's the final thing that we could talk about so far on this, right? So far, because we're definitely going to keep talking about this. Is
cautiously optimistic.
Is they, like cushy win, because how strong is the Republican?
Well, look, there was a guy, I think I talked about him on the show the other day, and forget his name, but he was an African American that was wrongly convicted for like 30 years behind bars, and then they found, I think it was DNA evidence that exonerated him, and then he ran for office as a Democrat, and he won. And then the Republicans, because it was after the Supreme Court decision, just erased the district, just like they erased Memphis. So they might erase Angie's district if she ends up winning. And that's going to piss off a lot of people. That's when we got to start really movement building in November. So we'll see.
Yeah, one of the good things that came out of that situation, that the senator that they the representative, excuse me, that they redistrict actually was able to win back their campaign. So that's a good thing.
Well, I didn't know that, but what I do know is that Wasserman Schultz lost her district, and then she went to a black district in Southeast Florida and won. But that was a district that traditionally belongs to African Americans. But she's so cutthroat. She doesn't even live there, and she figured out a way to get in, and she's so cutthroat. Like basically, she stole a position that didn't even belong to her.
Yeah, crazy. So
remember, guys, in case you're too young to remember, in case you're too young to remember what happened in 2016, Wasserman Schultz had to step down as the vice chair of the DNC for being caught through WikiLeaks emails of rigging the elections against Bernie Sanders. This is who we're talking about. I supported Canova when he ran as an independent in 2018 against Wasserman Schultz. I was part of that campaign back when he was progressive. So I have a history with Wasserman Schultz, and she's a crook, you know. So when her district got erased, I actually laughed. I was like, great, she's actually feeling what the rigging is on the other side now. But then she went into a black district and did that. That was just despicable.
Yeah, she don't even like live there, and she did that, which is crazy. Like, at least move. But no, I'm not even going to move. I'm just gonna do what I want. That's insane.
And she's a Zionist. She was a former member of ALEC. She was like one of like 3 Democrats in the entire history of the ALEC right-wing lobby to be part of ALEC. So she's not this progressive that they're trying to pass her off as. Like, she's totally establishment. Like, she's to the right of maybe even Hillary Clinton, but like certainly she's not even quasi-progressive. Like, it's just ridiculous.
And this is who, let's see. So Ron DeSantis also, like we said last time, Ron DeSantis is not, what's going on? Extra Bola, what's going on, bro? Ron DeSantis
I'm going to be on his co-host show. I think her name's Lori. I'm going to be on Lori's show sometime in September. Can't think of the date right now, but
Undercut.
Looking forward to that. Yeah.
Here it is. Here's the video. So this is.
You heard what I said about Lori?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. We got a show, brother.
Yep. This is her opponent right here.
Wasserman Schultz's?
No, Angie Nixon.
Oh, the opponent of Angie, the Republican, yeah.
Speedy has been tracking this story for more than a year and has the latest.
For the first time, Ashley Moody is responding to a CBS Miami investigation, which aired on Sunday, into Moody's failure as Attorney General to place safeguards around the $10 million that was supposed to be used to expand health care for poor children. But
what is happening?
So Moody's the Attorney General. That's not the Republican running against her.
But instead ended up in a political action committee controlled by the governor. In a statement released by...
No, I think that was her former position. She's
I
like
think
running
the video
now.
that showed is from Gaza of when they were shooting the kids, and then the audio is from the guy talking about Moody.
No,
but yeah, whatever you do.
StreamYard just freaking glitched like crazy on me just now.
Yeah,
that was absolutely weird. Sorry about that, guys. I don't even know what was shown. I was trying to figure out what was shown here.
Well, I saw it. It looked like the image of when they shot the kids in Gaza recently, and the guy was talking, though. He was talking about Moody, the Attorney General, something they did in Florida.
Yeah, thanks, StreamYard. Thank you for that. Anyway.
I remember when Pam Bondi was Attorney General. Is Moody the Attorney General of Florida or the Attorney General of the United States? I haven't even been paying attention to domestics that much.
So my understanding that from what I looked up is that she's running for senator now.
Okay, but this is the former Attorney General of Florida. She's the former Attorney General of Florida, correct, Moody?
Yeah.
Okay, because they were saying Attorney General Moody, but she's not the Attorney General anymore. Okay, and she's the one that's running against Angie. Because I haven't been paying attention to domestics. I usually pay attention to international, but I started paying attention to this because I happen to know Angie. But yeah, so there's a corruption scandal, isn't there?
Yes, and that's the video I was trying to play before it started.
I think there was money that was supposed to go to underprivileged children that DeSantis stole. Yeah, and Moody was part of that. This is just despicable.
Yep. Yeah, so it says Ashley Brooke Moody, American politician and attorney serving since 2025 as the junior United States Senator from Florida. So yeah, so I look, man, I think she could beat her. Honestly, that's just at the end of the day. I think she could do this. I think she could do this.
I mean, Gillum came close to winning as governor. He was a African American progressive, but the problem is that since he ran in 2018, the demographics of Florida have changed. It's not even longer a battleground state; it's a deep red state. And I'm talking about Republicans from New York, from California, Texas. They moved to Florida in the past 9 years now, 8 years now, and so that's why the state's turned into a deep red. And there's a lot of sexists and racists throughout the state that live here. They're not all native Floridians, to be fair to Florida, but it's going to be a very difficult fight for her to do a statewide election.
Mm. Yeah. Well, and then also there's the whole element of her own party opposition towards her as well.
I mean, if Moody's so bad that like even the Republicans don't want to vote for her, there's a low voter turnout, Angie might win. And it's hard to erase the entire district of the state of Florida, right? It's a federal position. I just thought of that, yeah. But I don't know. They might try to find some way to disqualify her or force her to step down. But it'll be hard because, like I said, she's a tough working class woman. We'll see what happens. Yep. I just hope she doesn't pull a Stacey Abrams, because Stacey Abrams completely sold out to Bloomberg, completely demoralized the left, with doing that with the former Republican mayor of New York, who suddenly turned Democrat after like being a Republican for 70 years or whatever. I see the guy. This is the guy that was responsible that I witnessed personally for brutalizing activists during Occupy in New York. I witnessed that personally. And so the betrayal of Stacey Abrams, Bloomberg, who was responsible for stop and frisk of black and brown people in New York, to take Bloomberg's money and try to, canvass around with him in black churches. Like you saw the image of the black church members that stood up and faced their back to Bloomberg because of her betrayal. And it showed there was a low voter turnout, especially of African-American men in Georgia, for Stacey Abrams. She was supposed to be the progressive. And she thought by selling out, she was going to impress the establishment and help her chances to win. It just completely demoralized the left. I really hope that Angie doesn't do something like that.
I agree.
That was in Georgia. In case people are not familiar with Stacey Abrams, that happened in Georgia a couple of years ago. Yeah,
Georgia, yep.
Very sad. Yeah.
So now let's talk about hold up, video. Make sure and video in my video. This video, please. I swear to dude, do not mess me up right here. I don't know what happened earlier, but I want to make sure this loads up. So let's get. We'll talk about the economic D-Day.
I gotta go help my father with something. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. Yep. Economic D-Day, guys. Oh my God. So this is, I think, of all things, understanding how dumb this is, how absolutely stupid, how absolutely atrocious this is. I think this
you in the front.
Video.
You described this as an economic D-Day, but D-Day wasn't a threat of an invasion, and the U.S. didn't give a timeline to Germany. So why not impose the sanctions today?
Well, we are giving everyone the opportunity to remedy bad behavior. Why would I want to blow up the global financial system? We believe that it is important to level set and give people a cure period, but they should know that that will move very quickly and that we are serious. Secondary sanctions are a very powerful tool, and we here at Treasury, this is Gene Lang, the acting Undersecretary for Terrorism Finance, and in the Terrorism Finance Department and at OFAC, the reason we are able to use secondary sanctions is because we do not take their use lightly. So we believe that a warning shot and a level set of expectations is appropriate. And if people do not want to meet our expectations, then we expect, and they should expect, that they.
Hey, listen, this is Scott Bessent right here, the idiot of the year.
Hey, I'm back. What were you showing?
Scott Besant talking about economic D-Day. They're like, you really think that Russia and China, because this is what the threat is to countries like Russia and China that keeps Iran economy alive. You really think they're going to give it up after how you can't defeat Iran militarily, and you literally started a Strait of Hormuz situation? People are losing.
Just like Trump changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico, he's probably going to try to change the name of the Persian Gulf, right? Maybe he'll call it the Arabian Gulf or something.
Yeah. He called one Lake Superior, Lake America. It was one of those Great Lakes that he just signed at. So the guy is fucking crazy too.
He's gonna try to change the name of Greenland to Trump land now.
Dude, it's just ridiculous at this point. It's like, like the dollar already went down 30%.
Did you see the greatest presidents list? Talk about a narcissist. You saw the greatest presidents list he posted on his True Social?
Yeah.
Remember who he made the greatest president, right?
It was oh wait, who was it again?
If he's a narcissist, he's got to make it himself. He made himself the greatest president.
No,
yeah, that's a classic Trump. I'm not making this up. And not only that, even though he bases his entire foreign policy openly on the Monroe Doctrine, he put Monroe as like average president, as like one of the least great. Like, this guy is just full of contradictions, man.
So much. And, the economy is going to shit, and this is the way to crash the dollar even more, threatening countries that are already opting out of using
Canada's retaliating. China's retaliating.
Yeah.
All these tariffs, the other countries have power to retaliate because we're in a globalized world. So, he can't just, arbitrarily make these moves or capriciously make these moves and then not expect these other nations to use their economic pull as well. The United States is no longer an economic superpower. It might be a military superpower, but you can't just bully the world into submission. People are starting to stand up. They're starting to pressure the governments to stand up as well.
And it's not good for business at all, too. Like, like you got to sit here and deal with these people, and then they always threaten to get hostile. Come just money. Like, why does it have to be? Oh, are you with those guys? No, don't be with those guys no more. It's just so contradictory. Like, it's hilarious. But, this is the way it is. Our government is going to be bitching and complaining, and demanding and being whining babies in both administrations. All the decline happens. That's just how it goes. That's completely it.
So, by the way, because I don't pay attention to domestics lately, that gentleman that was speaking, what is his position? Is he part of the cabinet of Trump or no?
Yeah, he's with the Treasury. Apparently, the Treasury is a part of the Pentagon now.
Yeah, like he changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War, which has not been called the Department of War since the 1860s. And it's like now he's merging the Pentagon. Like, give me a break, man. What's next? He's going to make the CIA part of the Pentagon. Like this is just chaos upon chaos, man.
And for disclosure, I'm joking. I'm not saying the Treasury is a part of the Pentagon. It's not.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. It's hard to tell what's reality now, right? We're living in the twilight zone, man. We don't even know what's truth anymore. Like, nothing seems outrageous anymore, hardly.
And the last time you heard our Treasury do a threat against a country in an announcement nationally instead of just going along with distinctions quietly? Like, what? This is like one of the most craziest. The Treasury Department comes out. Anybody making money with Iran, we cut you off the dollar. Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, talking about domestic politics makes you want to sleep. Let's go a little bit into foreign policy. Like Colombia, you know what's going on with the guerrillas down there now? They're starting to fight back against the new regime.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I did hear over the process of the earthquake that our esteemed bitch ass new Colombian president he's doing strikes towards them. He actually commanded at least 2 attacks. I heard. I gotta let me get the updates on that. Actually, good thing you brought that up.
Yeah, this is a paramilitary narco former attorney, narco regime now in power in Colombia, just like the narcos have returned to Honduras. All thanks to Trump and the imperialists, of course. But so are they going to fight back? Hell yeah. They had a peace accord. They put their weapons away. But now that the paramilitaries are in power in Bogota, the guerrillas are fighting back. They're not pushovers. They have a long history of fighting.
Yeah, and so what is their stances so far right now? Like if
in Bolivia, the guerrillas need to rise up too, because that's the only way they're going to save Evo Morales, because they're trying to go in there to kidnap him. He's got militant activists that are defending him right now in his home, and it's going to take the people having to go to arms if the democratic route is completely rigged by the U.S. empire.
Yeah.
There was somebody, for example, that did a really nice AI video of Che Guevara portraying him in the right way. And I thought they were a leftist. And I reached out to them on Instagram, and they're like, oh, yeah, Che's great. But, Bolivia is not like that today. We don't need the guerrillas like that today. I said, excuse me, do you know what's going on in Bolivia now? They just rigged an election. Of course, they're going to have to look at guerrilla tactics. And then they were completely silent because there was just a person that was completely ignorant to what's going on in Latin America today. She was like, yeah, we needed somebody like Che back then, but things are so much better. It's like, no, they're not. They're continuing to have a military dictatorship now, like it was in the 1960s. They're just doing it through rigging, pretending, that they're having democratic elections. And they rig it in one way or another in favor of the elite now, even though people were so much better when the left was in power.
Yeah, those people are weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like Che, but they're ignorant to what's going on in the conditions of Latin America today. They think, oh, he was great then, but we don't need that now. Yeah, actually, we do need that now because we tried the democratic route and we keep seeing it be sabotaged.
I'll be right back. No problem. I was gonna say, just like with I remember talking about this on the panel with the undercurrent, I believe. Yeah, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned that it's like, yeah, they just, oh yeah, we like these certain aspects of the history. This is nice, blah 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 blah. The liberals have talked about, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh no, you don't need to do that. Oh, we should give Nick Fuentes a platform. Let's argue with him. Yeah. Oh, but I can't have a communist on. Oh no. Oh no. They're socialists, but what kind of socialist? Is it democratic? Is it Menshevik? Yeah, no, man. It's just a soft, let's go to brunch and then, because I wrote a thesis about this. Let me stop. That's not the show. It's not the show. Ranting is not the show. But no, let me see. I got another video here. Here we go. So this is the Canada video right here. There we go. Had to get back real quick. I'm back. There you go.
I'm back just in case.
Video. That's not the video. Oh my god, dude. Sorry guys, that's not the video. Let's get rid of that. What you said, Alex? Wait. Oh, there you go. Pop up. Yeah. What you said, Alex? My bad.
I was just saying, I want to let you know I'm back.
All right, bet. No, I was gonna play the Canada video real quick. I could have sworn. Wait, why is my phone so? Oh, here it is, right here. Yeah, all right. So I clicked on the wrong video, guys. My bad.
We will begin intense discussions with the European Union, the world's second largest economy, to build a much stronger and deeper economic and security partnership. Now, we can build such unparalleled access because we're trusted, because we're reliable, and because we have what the world wants.
Now, I had to look into this with Canada's economic war against America's economic war against Canada. Right. So what we're talking about energy going up. We're talking about our truckers will be affected. Diesel, I believe too. Let me look that up again about the diesel. Like, why? What do you think about this, Alex? Because I'm just going to be like why?
Well, it just demonstrates that Canada has the power to retaliate, and Canada's not afraid to retaliate. And I remember when Trump was in power the first time around, there was a dispute with the Canadians over territory and the fishermen and all that. And I happened to be in Canada when that was going on. And I remember, like, my mom and me, we were visiting relatives in Nova Scotia, and we were telling them, like, and all the people that we ran into were like, yeah, we're Americans, but we're sorry about Trump. Like, because that was right when the tensions were going on, back when they had Trudeau in power. And Trudeau was a big disappointment because he went along with Trump against Venezuela, and then the hostility against Venezuela continued with Biden and Trudeau in power as well. In complete contrast to his father, because when his father was prime minister, he was the one that stood up to the U.S. and continued to support Cuba. But the son is a sellout when it comes to Venezuela. So the son had some tension with Trump at the beginning, but then later during the Trump regime, he went along with the sanctions against Venezuela, the plots against Maduro, all of that, because, Canada had oil interests in Venezuela, clearly.
Yeah, man. So, it's just it's also the last question is like, how the hell they think they're going to get in the EU, because the EU is strictly within borders.
I think that's just rhetoric. I think it's just like Trump used the Greenland thing as rhetoric. He's not serious about invading Greenland. I think the Canadians using the whole EU thing as a way to show the U.S., hey, we're going to do business with these other guys, kind of thing. It's a tactical, rhetorical move.
What?
By the way, the EU, not just China, have their data centers for AI under the ocean. I believe the Chinese were the innovators of that. They're the ones that started that. And because the EU doesn't want to go the stupid route of actually building data centers that take away fresh water and destroy local environments, they're doing it the Chinese way. They're building their data centers under the water. I don't know if Canada does that as well. I'd have to look into it. But I think U.S. is like one of the only single major countries that are building, these data centers like on land and not under the ocean, which is a much safer way and better and far more environmentally friendly way to do it.
Interesting. What?
Yeah, because they're not going to overheat if they're under the ocean, and they're not going to take fresh water if they're under salt water. It's common sense, but the U.S. is like, oh, we can't do that. That's the Chinese way. It's like, well, the Europeans are doing it already.
And this is why I use DeepSeek, people. I've been using DeepSeek ever since this AI stuff came out. I use DeepSeek.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that.
You haven't used DeepSeek yet?
No, never heard of it.
It's free. It's like ChatGPT, but it's a free
Is it AI though?
All devices. It's all
Is
AI.
it AI though? Still AI. No, but let me ask you what was I going to ask you about? Lost my train of thought. Go on. Oh yeah, I remember now. Did you hear about the new Twitter? I think it's like Twitter.now, because when Elon had a lawsuit against Twitter and then changed it to X, they actually made their own Twitter page now. I think you have to pay subscription though, at least in the beginning. Did you hear about the new Twitter?
No, I didn't hear about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's Twitter.now. Yeah.
What? Twitter.now.
I think, but if you put in Google like the new Twitter, you'll see they started their own site now. If it kicks off and it becomes free, like I might join it, because I'm just sick of Elon's crap, man.
Oh yeah, it's chaos on there.
His latest crap that I covered, because I haven't been following all this crap, is his criticism of the Matt Damon movie Odyssey, where he plays King Odysseus, the Greek king that was one of the conquerors of Troy. And his main criticism of it is, how dare a Trojan queen be played by a black artist? Like, just his typical white South African racism,
Yeah. Yeah. Eartha Kitt played Helena before. So, like, dude.
Who played Helena?
Eartha Kitt.
Is she African American?
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
Well, yeah, it's not the first time then, but now he's making it sound like it's unprecedented or something because of his outrage that black artists would like. It's not a literal documentary about Troy and Greece. It's a movie, for God's sakes.
right. Wait, I want to make sure I said this person's name correct.
Yeah, you might be saying it differently. It's why I don't know who they are. Yeah. Wait, I met a person once. She was from the Republic of Moldova, not Romania, Moldova. The Republic of Moldova is more Slavic, more pro-Russia, and more progressive in some ways too. The Romanians, a lot of them are still like the Ukrainians, thinking the Nazis were okay or whatever. But yeah, she's Moldovan, and her name was Helen. And I said, like, Helen of Troy. She never heard of Helen of Troy. Like, literally, she's named after Helen of Troy, and she never heard of that person. Like, it just totally dumbfounded me that like somebody like doesn't know this known history, and they're literally named after the person and they still don't know. It would be like somebody named Alexander is like, oh, never heard of Alexander the Great. Like, it's just incredible how the ignorance of some people in history. And I expect that from Americans. She's a Moldovan immigrant. Like, people from other countries tend to be very educated on history in comparison to Americans. But maybe she just grew up here and her parents never told her. I don't know. Her English was quite good, so she sounded more American than Moldovan. But yeah, it's so important to know your history, man, especially if you're named after the person, for God's sakes,
Oh yeah, definitely. Here it is. It is Eartha Kitt. Let's show the face. So
yeah, I'll probably recognize her because I'm a movie buff. I'm not just a history buff.
Let me see. Can you see?
Oh, that was way back. She played Helen way back. She looks like an artist from like 1950 or something. Yeah,
way back. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm like, guys, it's fantasy, and it's
like back then it probably wasn't even as controversial as it is now because you have billionaires like Elon. They're echoing all these like old racist views.
Yeah. They don't want to let go of feeling important.
I mean, there's so much to be outraged about today, like the fact that federal minimum wage has not been raised since 2005 when we had George W. Bush in power. Like the fact that like tipped workers get paid less than what they get in third world countries. They get paid like $3-something an hour. Still that's still legal. The exploitation, I think the federal minimum wage is like $7 or something an hour. And even when there's progress in Florida, it's incremental. Like they did $15 an hour, but it's $1 raised per year for like the next 5 years or something like that. And so like so much rage, like, and there's so much questions from the right. I would love to debate a right winger on this. On the question of, for example, why we have such a low childbirth rate. Like there's only 1.5 child per capita, I believe, in the United States. And then, in other countries, it could be 3. And it's like, it's obvious who can raise a family on the salary. Like you have to have like 4 or 5 jobs each parent to be able to afford to raise kids right now without struggling having to get on some type of welfare. Like, maybe if you raise the wage federally, force the states to have to raise their darn wages and not keep dragging their feet. That's why you need federal action sometimes, right? I mean, hell, slavery still be legal if there wasn't federal action in the Civil War. They'd still be, if we had to rely just on state laws when it comes to slavery, 100 years later, 100 plus years later, they have slavery legal. And it is actually still legal for people behind bars, by the way. But like, you know what I mean? There will be open air slavery like before. And it's like, be outraged at the fact that people can't raise a family because our salaries are too darn low in comparison to Europe and other progressive countries. It's ridiculous. But no, Elon wants to keep the wages down, keep the tax breaks for the rich. And he's outraged because a black actress played Helena. Give me a break.
Yeah, these guys, they make their own trauma up. These crazy white supremacists. They're like, oh, the Muslims are going to take over America.
That'd be great because Muslims, for example, they give like a part of their salary to charity, which sounds like socialism to me. Muhammad came up with this, centuries ago, but it was a very progressive position to take back then. But if you're a Muslim, you have to give a part of your salary over to charity. That sounds great. Shoot, let's get like a Muslim type taxation, right? Where money's actually given to charities to help people and not to line the pockets of people like Trump. Trump's latest corruption where he like pardoned somebody for money was somebody that literally what was the story? It had to do with somebody with Alzheimer's. Like I was very traumatized by reading it, but like basically the person like stole money from Alzheimer's patients, and like Trump just pardoned them. Like just another son of a bitch, you know?
Oh yeah. No, it's just ridiculous how much money those guys are getting. This is like this whole presidency is just a cash cow for him, man. And you know,
Whatever happened to the emoluments clause, man? The emolument clause. I mean, Kennedy shut down his family's hotel in Washington D.C. when he became president because he said, "I can't make any money off being president." He was actually principal. The emoluments clause, they actually took it serious back in the 1960s. But things have deteriorated so much when it comes to corruption that Trump is just openly violating the emoluments clause. I mean, this is a convicted felon. He was just convicted in civil court of rape. You know, he's definitely in the Epstein files. It's just complete lawlessness, man.
It's too much, man. And it's to the point that you hear a new thing every day where someone's connected with the Kushners and the brothers, like Hakeem Jeffries.
Well, they pushed the Kushners out of Albania. I love the Albanians right now, man. They're badass. Yeah. They rose up against their government and forced them to have to reverse the purchase of land that was public land that they were going to give over to the Kushners.
Yeah, and that's my fault.
And son-in-law, yeah.
I was meaning to put a follow-up video on that, but I just didn't get the research all the way together.
Yeah, I put in there that the only credentials that Kushner has for being a negotiator in the Middle East is that he happens to have married the president's daughter. It's just what's the term? There's a term for that where it's like family corruption, where you're hiring them for being your family, not on their merits. It's not favoritism, but nepotism. I knew it had ism at the end, but yeah, this is just like the worst form of nepotism that we're witnessing right now.
Yeah. And it's just out in the open, just to the point that people are just like, oh yeah, well.
At least Bobby Kennedy was qualified. He actually went to law school. He actually was a lawyer before he became attorney general. But Kushner has no qualifications for being a diplomat. I don't even think he has a bachelor's degree.
Right.
I'll be right back.
Nope. Got something else for you guys. I want to pull it out. So yeah, so you know, I'm from actually, we're not going to talk about that today. You're not going to talk about that today. Like I'm saying, I have stories like this phone. I have so much of that. I'm getting to the point where like, oh wait, we don't have enough information on that. Let's not that up now. But what I want to bring up is this final right here. So I think it's important. We keep talking about Gaza.
Hey, I'm back.
Yep. All right, here we go. Pull it up. Where did it go? Oh, it's right here. Boom.
Board of Peace is being used to obfuscate Israel's continued actions that are violating the fundamental rights of Palestinians in Gaza and the most basic rules of international humanitarian law. This cannot be the new status quo. Madam President, since the ceasefire was announced and the Board of Peace was created, in addition to the barring of many international aid organizations, it has overseen the deaths of over 1,000 Palestinians reported to have been killed by the Israeli military, continued rejections of medical items considered dual use, including basic medical items such as scissors, crutches, wheelchairs, and prosthetic limbs, continuing and arbitrary restrictions on engine oil, forcing the cost of engine oil up to 45 times its normal price, bringing the humanitarian response today to an absolute breaking point. Rejections of fresh produce, such as watermelon and onions, for the reason this is not within the humanitarian policy, is not permitted for entry at this time. A policy that has never been fully published or made available. Continuing rejections of international specialized medical staff seeking to enter Gaza, and the almost daily movement of the supposedly fixed yellow ceasefire line that has now moved so far west since October, it has restricted or resulted in the full loss of access to at least 85 humanitarian facilities, including water points, schools, and health clinics. Humanitarian assistance, by its nature, cannot be conditional.
All right. That was the longer clip. I thought I put on the shorter clip, but anyway, y'all get the gist of it. So that was.
Hey, can you remind me to mention something to you that I want to mention about Algeria?
Well, actually, I was just about to.
This actually has to do with Israel as well. Can I mention it now?
Yeah.
So there was a debate.
Actually, bring that up.
Actually, it wasn't a debate, but there was a discussion in the UN, involving Algeria and Israel. And I love the Algerian government; they're very supportive of Western Sahara. And so the Algerian representative was accused by the Israeli representative of being a supporter of Hamas, but he didn't play that game. So the Algerian said, "You know what? I'm not getting into debate with you because we're distracting from the fact that you've committed genocide in Gaza."
Right.
But yeah, so now Israel's on the attack against Algeria. Maybe we'll strike against them next. Who knows?
Algeria is a socialist government, by the way, guys. So for the socialist,
Ben Bella was friends with Che. Ben Bella was a socialist leader that started the Algerian Republic when they threw the French out. Yeah.
So people should be paying attention to that on the socialist side. If not,
Algeria was allied with Libya next door. Gaddafi was allied with Ben Bella. All those guys. Nasser in Egypt. North Africa was almost completely socialist at that time.
Yeah. But now I wanted to play that clip not because I was going to bring up Algeria as well too, and I was going to also bitch yourself about Morocco because now that Morocco's back in the highlight, Sahara's
Morocco's the sellout government of North Africa,
and people have to see the bond. Like this is what Israel is doing, and it's the most recorded genocide in history.
Mm-hmm.
And they are getting away with it because America is backing them. I want you to think about all the other.
And think about all the times they said, "Oh, but Palestine's not a legitimate country, so we can't do anything about it." What about Lebanon? Look what they're doing every day in Lebanon. They just went into this little girl's. She's a pianist, home and destroyed it, and then did a video mocking her, like in southern Lebanon. Like they're going after Christian sites. Like this is a legitimate country. And the United States is not at war with Lebanon. They're at war with Iran. But Trump is giving Netanyahu carte blanche. And the Iranians said, you need to stop attacking Lebanon or we're not going to have any peace treaty. And Netanyahu's like telling Trump, I have your videos of little girls from Epstein. He worked for us. You know that. And Trump's like, all right, he's backing off. It's just straight up blackmail, man. There's no explanation for it.
I think Iran is going to, and we're about to close soon. I think Iran is going to announce very soon that they have a nuclear weapon.
Well, they're forced to do that, aren't they? They're forced to do that. They could have done what Obama did and have an Iran deal. But now, if they go the military Netanyahu route, they're forcing Iran to do that. And Trump said in his speech recently about Pakistan, he says, I respect Pakistan. They have nukes. So that's really telling Iran, why don't you get nukes too? Then he'll start respecting you.
Right.
It's pretty apparent.
All out in the open.
By the way, Kim Jong-un, why do you think they haven't overthrown him? He got a nuclear weapon already too. He's actually helping the Russians with Ukraine right now too.
Yeah. Kim Jong-un, man, for people, I just want people to understand from my perspective of what North Korea is doing. Because I think that a lot of people are still like misguided with relations and what Trump says when he's talking about countries like North Korea. Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un do not have a relationship, guys. Like straight up.
Well, during Trump's first term, he met with him, right? But that was it. There was nothing really else that materialized from that. There was some moves to unite the Koreas. The South Korean government seemed like it was willing, and then Trump put a stop to that. But
President Moon.
But another thing happening is a lot of the military presence in Asia that was preventing the Korean unity is moving into the Persian Gulf because of the current engagements with Iran. So that's actually making the divisions that the U.S. empire was maintaining in Asia less. So there's more chance now for the Koreas to unite. It's much like when Bush went into the Middle East, he left Latin America alone because he used those military resources to go into the Middle East. And that's when the pink tide started, the socialist government started, Hugo Chavez, etc. So it's backfiring, it's blowback, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely happening.
Yeah, it's so in 2024, North Korea, because they also mentioned because that crazy guy that's in jail now in South Korea tried to martial law. But anyway, we ain't talking about him right now. North Korea made a statement in 2024 saying that the relationship with America that they have is state by state basis, as in if there needs to be diplomacy, it needs to be talks on certain items, we will talk. That's it. So this whole, I love Kim Jong-un, I think he's a good person. This is what mob guys do.
No. He didn't say that. He said he loved the Pakistani president. Well, not the Pakistani president even. He said, I love Pakistan, referring to the government. And he says they have nuclear weapons. I don't know if it was love or respect, but he said something like that. But it's like, yeah, he basically then saying that while there's engagement with Iran, then maybe Iran should then go nuclear and the U.S. will back off and respect them. Like that's really what he's forcing them to do.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get the point is that people paying too much attention to what he's saying about Kim Jong-un than actually paying attention to the fact that, they have nukes. He ain't going to bother them at all. Iran needs to get nukes.
What happened with Gaddafi when he got rid of his nuclear program after the Iraq War? After the Iraq War, the Iraq invasion, like it was, they betrayed him. He reconciled with the West. He got rid of the nuclear program. They betrayed him after that. So that sends a message to Iran as well, recent history.
Yeah. And that's what made North Korea get nukes as well, too. Because
North Korea was allied with Gaddafi as well. They were part of I believe, a strategic alliance. But yeah, so that makes total sense.
They mentioned it. Kim Jong-un. That's what I'm saying. People should listen to Kim Jong-un speeches. Like people should pay attention to what he be saying. I'll be watching his speeches. He tell you.
Dennis Rodman confronted him for something, right?
Right. Well, he tell you straight up what's going on. He will.
I wonder whatever happened to Carmen Electra. She was hot, man. When Dennis Rodman used to date Carmen Electra, that's a power couple right there.
Dennis Rodman had his own agenda. That's all I'll say about him.
Well, I'm not saying the guy's a saint, but it's really cool that he made friends with Kim Jong-un. He was trying to better relations because there was a time of a lot of tensions between the United States and North Korea.
Yeah. People got to stop.
I'll put it this way. Dennis Rodman is not Paul Robeson, right? He's not even near the same category. So I'm not saying that he's some great guy like Paul Robeson was, but it's good that he made friends with him. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
he made friends with him not over politics, by the way. It's just because Kim Jong-un happens to be a basketball fan, and they had like a state visit or whatever. Yeah,
it's significant that Korea becomes one. They will become one. The new president already just mentioned how he's looking to talk to North Korea to sign a peace deal. They tried to become one the last time they had the Olympics there, and North Korea joined in Seoul.
Right.
Korea wants to become one. And I know it sounds weird with me saying this, and people watch a lot of mainstream social media. I can only say
Taiwan, probably most of the Taiwanese want to rejoin China.
Yes.
All this talk of separation and maintaining of divisions in Asia has been instigated by the imperialists. It doesn't actually represent the will of the majority of the people. Look at Crimea. They always said Crimea is part of Ukraine. And when they actually did a internationally supervised, referendum, there was like 98.9% of them voted to rejoin Russia. So actually look at the will of the people in these regions. Don't come from it as an imperialist lens and believe their propaganda about those areas that you can barely find on a map.
This is all on record. When I went to Howard University, the People's Congress, I think it was 2017 or one of those. I actually got a chance to meet some of the officials that were a part of the Progressive Party in South Korea, and also
the Uyghurs love being part of China, by the way, because they can have as many children as they want. They have a lot of benefits. They're able to practice their religion. Where's this Uyghur genocide you're talking about? Because if you have to go there and talk to the Uyghurs, that's not what they believe.
That's fake.
Yeah.
But no, I met North Koreans there too, and they had a workshop, and they literally explained
in New York.
People this was at Howard University in Washington D.C.
Oh, we went to D.C. Yeah.
Yeah, they basically explained that no, we want to reunite. We don't know what it would look like economically or what system, but we want to reunite. And also, we want the occupation, which people keep not talking about, the U.S. occupation out of South Korea. Because the U.S. occupation is the problem. That's what keeps the tensions going.
And most of the military presence is in the DMZ. It's right on the border between North and South Korea. A lot of tensions there. If the United States left, not only would it de-escalate the situation, but within days, maybe, like, they would unite because the people really want it. It's the U.S. government and the U.S. pressure on the South Korean government that's preventing that unity.
And by the way, it wasn't the North Koreans that separated their families and said this side of the family can't go see that side. It was the policy of South Korea's dictator, Sigmund Reed, who did it off of the behest of the United States to keep them separated. They were the ones.
Hey, brother, I really got to go. It's 6 o'clock. I got to help my dad with something, but always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just realized what time it is, so I have to go as well too because I have a second job.
All right, peace out, man. You know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to do my karaoke, having a good time. You take care, brother.
Yep.
Have a good weekend.
Everybody out there, you too. Have a good weekend. Everybody out there in the airwaves, make sure.
Blank period, yeah. On my black, brown, and indigenous. Gotta holler if you really feeling this. Gotta holler if you really real enough. Other rappers is delirious. Yeah, it's really that serious. Better holler if you really feeling me. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna live in abundance. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna. I gotta keep it 100. We gotta stop all the stunting. You know we coming from nothing. Yo, you talking about money, you bluffing. We gotta do something different. We gotta change how we live in. We gotta do better for women. We gotta do better for children. We gotta listen to victims, whether Jewish or Muslim or Christian. It doesn't matter your religion. You gotta stand against the system, or else you just another villain. How you just sitting there chilling?